What's up, Totem Pole Nation? This is Lambo and Matt's World of Sports. That's Lambo. I'm Matt. If you want to support the boys, we've got the link to our shop in the ticker. You can get some cool gear. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe as always. And to Sideline Sports Network, thank you for the platform. Today's episode, we're getting into our Week 9 preview and also diving into the Raiders firing of their head coach, Josh McDaniels, and GM Dave Ziegler. So we'll see what's going on with that in this episode. Let's get it.
All right. Well, Josh McDaniels got fired earlier than expected. Now, I respect what Josh McDaniels has done. I'm going to be honest. He hid behind Tom Brady. Now, I'm just going to be very honest. Now, he's a very great situation. I'm not saying he's not a great coach. He's not a great head coach. Everybody can't be a head coach. Some coaches are just good coordinators, which coordinators, I'm not saying the job is easy because I hadn't been an NFL coach, but I understand from coaching high school that being a head coach is not as easy at all. Now, the Bill Belichick tree has been very, very, very unsuccessful. Romeo Crennel hasn't worked. Eric Mangini hasn't worked. Josh McDaniels hasn't worked twice. Matt Patricia damn near didn't work. Bill O'Brien was probably the most successful one out of four of them. Now, he didn't win the Super Bowl. I get it. He fell off for trading DeAndre Hopkins. I get that stuff. But at least the Texans with Bill O'Brien, they made the damn playoffs. So, I mean, despite quarterback problems, they made the playoffs at 9-7. At least they made the playoffs. Josh McDaniels, ladies and gentlemen, the team was going in the wrong direction. Devontae Adams has expressed his frustration. So is Josh Jacobs. So is other players on the team. You can't run the Patriots offense against with the Raiders. The Patriot way or the highway. It does not work. You already messed. Did you learn your lesson at Denver where you really thought you was going to go sign Tim Tebow and keep your job? Tim Tebow. I mean, I don't understand. Mark Davis. It's Mark Davis's fault too for hiring him too, because I didn't even think this was a great hire. I'm gonna go back to when Derek Carr was let go. That's when Josh McDaniels messed up. Now I understand Derek Carr was having some turnovers, but why sign the man to a $150 million deal when you became a head coach and then bench him and then get rid of him? The Raiders should have hired or kept Rich Bisaccia, who was the interim head coach when John Gruden got fired. Rich Bisaccia, I can't pronounce his last name now. Despite all the drama they had, they made the playoffs. Despite all the drama they had 2 years ago. Rich Bisaccia took that Raiders team to the playoffs. Players were crying that they didn't keep him as the coach going forward. They said, we want to bring in Josh McDaniels. Look what he did with the Patriots and all this other stuff. And he did successful with Mac Jones for 1 year. He had him great. He did what he could with Mac Jones for 1 year. I would give him credit for that because if we didn't have him, we wouldn't make the playoffs. He's part of our bread and butter with the Patriots. I get it. But he learned his lesson. I get it. He learned his lesson. He said on the herd, he learned his lesson and talking about, so I wasn't a people person. But this looks worse. I don't know if it's worse than the Denver situation. I can't tell. But dude, you're awful as a head coach. I mean, I'm sorry. Your record is 20-33, and your tenure as a head coach, you only lasted no more than 2 seasons. And this one, and his 4 years as head coach, you've been fired mid-season twice. So 2010, you were 3-9, fired. Now you're 3-5, fired. Why would you sign Jimmy Garoppolo and think Jimmy Garoppolo's the answer for Derek Carr? I don't understand this. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm ranting.
No, you're good, dude. You can ramble about it. This is Josh McDaniels. You know the man. You know the man as a Patriots fan. As a coach, he sucks. And this stint with the Raiders isn't too dissimilar from the Gruden days, minus like with Gruden, you had a little bit of hope that they would do well. Like he didn't get fired because they were performing poorly. He got fired for being a bad human being. So a little bit different there. But we saw it when Gruden moved Khalil Mack, which was everyone was like, what the hell? Why are we getting rid of literally the best player on our football team? Chandler Jones, that's a different situation there, but he has been very public with his dislike of Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels got rid of, like you said, Derek Carr after that was probably the main reason Devontae came. He turned down more money with the Packers to be a Raider. And a big part of that, I'm sure, was because of Derek. Josh knows that. And he also knows that he probably promised Devontae, like, that's part of the deal. Like, you get to play with your old quarterback, and like, we know how much he loves Aaron and stuff, but it's just like a new chapter, new thing. And McDaniels completely mistreated that relationship. Devontae's upset. He shipped out Darren Waller because he didn't get invited to his damn wedding. So like I feel like he did more harm, and then signed Jimmy G and this is not just him. Dave Ziegler is also to blame as well. That's why he got fired as well. But it's not just Ziegler making these decisions. Josh McDaniels has a lot of insight into what's going on and input into what the final decision is. So yeah, he did more harm than good, signing Jimmy G to a pretty decent sized contract when he couldn't even pass a physical. Doesn't make sense. And, it doesn't take, like, I'm not an expert when it comes to analyzing players' film and stuff, but it doesn't take an expert to realize that Jimmy G does enough on a very, very good team for them to not lose. He's not the reason they're out there winning games. They would have won a Super Bowl if he could just hit a couple damn throws, like they let the Chiefs get back into that game through Jimmy, like overthrowing receivers and stuff. So Jimmy would have a Super Bowl ring if he could do what you paid him to do in Las Vegas. He doesn't have the ring because he can't do it. All right. And that's showing its head here because Devontae's frustrated. He's leading the league in interceptions. And I'm putting it on McDaniels. Like, he deserved to get fired. Absolutely. There's a few cases where you can be like, I don't know, maybe let him coach out the rest of the year. Like I'm sure you could pull up some guys that were fired a little bit too early. This is not that case. He needed to go. And I like the two dudes. Did you see the two guys that got replacing those positions? They gave an interview. They seem legit. I liked them. We are the damn Raiders, dude. We used to strike fear into people, and we clearly don't anymore. That's what, as long as we have this power for right now, we're going to do everything in our power to bring the Raiders back to where they were. So I like the direction. Hopefully Mark Davis can make an actual good decision instead of paying like a combined $80 million or something for these two coaches to not coach their team anymore. Like when they fired Gruden, they came to that settlement, and they're paying him however much money's left on that deal. And then once they reach this, all of his money was guaranteed, so he's got like $40 million still coming in for McDaniels. So to your point about the Patriots, he could go over, be like an offensive analyst or something, and Bill could pay him like literally $100,000 because the Raiders are still giving him $40 million. So yeah, I mean, he did more harm than good to that team. So it's good he's gone. You're lagging a little bit.
I just don't understand what he saw in Josh McDaniels. I don't understand the Patriot way. It doesn't history. I'm not telling him don't take the job, but he's the guy that went 2 years in Denver, 2 years in Las Vegas. Oh, he took the Indianapolis coach job for 8 hours and then resigned around and then went back to the Patriots. He also had a job had an interview with Green Bay when Mike McCarthy got fired. Didn't want to take that one. I mean, I guess he wanted GM decisions. I'm like, imagine you coaching Aaron Rodgers. That'd be nice. He also had an interview with the 49ers. Now, what would the 49ers be like if there was no Kyle Shanahan? Just imagine if he was with the 49ers and there was no Kyle Shanahan.
I'd love it. I'd love it. I would love it. I would love it. That would be awesome.
Him with the 49ers with no Kyle Shanahan?
As a Dallas Cowboys fan, I would love it, dude.
I agree. I agree with you because they didn't have their quarterback situation until Jimmy G. They was with Brian Hoyer. He was like an 0-N as a starter at one point in time. So yeah, like I said, he has a family. He has a family, so I'm not wishing him and saying, "Oh, you don't deserve a job." But I mean, as a head coach, it's just shown.
He's getting paid $40 million to do nothing now. So him and his family are fine. They're good. He's getting paid $40 million to sit on his damn couch right now. So they're set. They're fine. Yeah.
Bill Belichick, call Josh McDaniels so we get that offense straight. Please call him. Call Josh McDaniels. We need him back. Call him. Be the quarterback's coach. Put some input. I am confident if you and Bill O'Brien calling plays rather than Joe Judge and Matt Patricia a year ago. I'm confident in Bill O'Brien and Josh McDaniels calling plays or being in the same spot that they was back in the early 2010s, 2011s. I'm comfortable with that. Now, I could go on an hour about this, but I just don't want to do that. We got to get into some games. Now, 1 o'clock game that I'm going to get into first is – no, I'm going to get into the Falcons versus the Vikings. Now, the Falcons changed quarterbacks. Taylor Heineke's the starter. I wish Washington would have kept him because no, that's debatable. I'm sorry. I'm going too far. I'm not saying Sam Howell's a bum. We'll have to see how that goes. Atlanta changed quarterbacks. Minnesota is starting Jared Cook. Obviously, not Jared Cook. Forgot his name. Jared Cook or something. Or Jared Hall. Excuse me, Jared Hall. Josh Dobbs is also signed as well as the backup. He's able to learn the offense very, very quickly. In this matchup, I am more confident in taking Lord. This is a tough one because the injury and then a quarterback change. I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons at home. I think Taylor Heineke, he has experience in Washington. He has proven that he can do something. They still have Drake London, who is great. Their defense is a little bit better. Defense is top 10. Their run game with Bijan Robinson is great. But Minnesota is going to struggle with this fifth-round rookie out of BYU, I think. So I'm going to go with the Vikings win this one. I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings win, but this is a toss-up. This is two new quarterbacks starting. And if it was Kirk Cousins, I would have went with the Vikings. But I got to go with the Falcons. We both had seen them play, so I can't sit here and say, hey, a fifth-round quarterback is going to, outplay Taylor Heineke. I'm not going to be that delusional. So I'm going to go ahead with the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Falcons for the same reason. I think I just trust Taylor Heineke more than I trust Jaron Hall. The Vikings defense blitzes the most in the league, which in the past few games has been great for them. But going against an offense that is very, they play a quick offense. It screens out of the backfield to Bijan. It slants and outs with Kyle Pitts and Drake London. And then they can also stretch the field if they want to. But the main thing that gets this offense going is quick passes and running with Bijan and Algier in the backfield and CP as well, now that he's healthy. So, a blitz-heavy defense could present, some issues for them just because, you understand, like a blitz-heavy defense is susceptible to quick passes. So, if that's how the Falcons are going to run this game, which I'm assuming they will, I trust that Taylor Heineke can manage that. And regardless of Desmond's turnovers, the Falcons' offense these past 3 weeks have been, they've been humming. They're third in the league in total yards since week 5. And then, like you said, their defense is 6th in the league in yards allowed, and they're top half of the league in points allowed. So I'm rolling with the Falcons here.
All right, next game, the Seahawks versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Ravens are the most complete team, I think, in the AFC, the most complete team as far as offense, defense, and special teams. The Seattle Seahawks are consistent as well. They're 5-2. They're leading the NFC West because they have a better record than the Rams and the 49ers, which the 49ers did drop 3 straight going into the bye week, obviously. In this game, I am going to take the Baltimore Ravens. I understand that the Seahawks got a good offense. Their defense is ranked 7th, which is better than what it was the past years. Post Russell Wilson, it's got better. Their run game they've got Kenneth Walker, but it's like 21st in rushing. It's mid-tier. Their passing is okay. They still have DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith-Njigba. But I'm going to take the Ravens because their run game is 2nd in the league, obviously. They have a new offensive coordinator, Todd Monken from Georgia. They can throw the ball very, very well. The defense is way better. I'm taking the Ravens defense, obviously. What John Harbaugh has done consistently, I'm taking the Ravens at home. It will be a close game. I don't think it will be like a blowout or anything. I think it will be very, very close. I trust Lamar Jackson over Geno Smith. Geno Smith has done great, but Lamar Jackson is playing at a 2019 MVP caliber level.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Lamar's cooking. Gus Edwards has been seeing more and more of a workload. He's like establishing himself as a running back 1. He finally passed Lamar in total rushing yards this year. So, it seems like it's being less on Lamar and they can actually run through a committee, which is obviously perfect for this offense. The Ravens defense, like you mentioned, one of the best in the league. They're 2nd in overall yards, 1st in points allowed, 1st in sacks. And Geno's been turning the ball over a little bit more than we're accustomed, or I wouldn't say accustomed to, but last year was his coming out party, really. And he wasn't turning the ball over like this. Obviously, we've seen Geno have some Geno moments in a negative way, but he had been playing very, very well, and he's turning the ball over a little bit more than we saw previously. The offense as a whole, though, is doing very well. Their receivers, enough said, DK, JSN, Tyler Lockett, and then Jake Bobo obviously has been establishing himself as a part of the offense, whether or not it's getting a lot of snaps at the receiver spot, or he also scored on a rushing play last week. So he can do multiple things on offense. And then obviously Kenneth Walker, young stud, Charbonnet, rookie. He's produced well when he's seen time. I just trust Lamar to handle a very middle-of-the-road defense in Seattle, and I don't know if I trust Geno in going against one of the best defenses in the league versus Baltimore.
All right, next game that nobody should watch. Please don't watch this game. The Cardinals versus the Cleveland Browns. The 1-7 Cardinals that are starting Clayton Tune as their quarterback. Cleveland, I think, is still probably going to go with P.J. Walker going forward. Not sure about the situation with Deshaun Watson, if he'll even be back the rest of the year, if he's still hurt or questionable. Arizona defensively is ranked 4th to last or 3rd to last. They're ranked number 29th in defense. Their run game is 3rd, surprisingly. 3rd in rushing. Their offense is mid-tier. So is the Cleveland Browns. I trust the Cleveland Browns defense. So they're currently ranked number 1 in total defense. I'm going with the Cleveland Browns. Not really much to say about this game. It's just P.J. Walker, don't turn the ball over. Myles Garrett, get after everybody. Jim Schwartz, I think it's first, second year defensive coordinator for the Browns. I think has been great, efficient, turning around that defense and being consistent. Arizona Cardinals, when you change quarterbacks and then you trade your quarterback to the Vikings, it just shows you that you're tanking, not number 1, you're tanking. And number 2, you're rebuilding maybe for next year. Kyler Murray may return, but it's no point. If you're 1-7, Kyler Murray, just don't damn return this year. Just wait till next year. Wait till you get more pieces in the draft. I'm going with Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I agree. There's not much to say with this game. Clayton Tune has thrown 1 ball this year. He's 1 for 1 with 4 yards. So there's not much to go off in his performance. Deshaun is still questionable. It's completely up to him whether or not he plays at this point, is what the vibe has been from Stefanski. He, very publicly said he was cleared with our guys, and it's up to Deshaun. So
we just paying that man $130 million just to see whether he want a goddamn play or not.
Yeah. It just further illustrates how bad of a damn contract that was. I mean, shit, we could go on for that for like an hour. That's one of, if not the worst contract ever given in the NFL. I mean, just awful. So, as long as the Browns defense is playing like this, and you pointed out the Cardinals running offense, most of that, I don't know, not most, but a lot of it came from Josh Dobbs. He'd run the ball.
That's true.
Well over 50 times this year. He had a great yards per carry, well over 5. So, a lot of that running attack was, especially with Connor on the IR, and they're just so inconsistent with who they put in the backfield, whether it was Keontae Ingram those first few games, then he hasn't really been seeing the field as much. So there's just a lot of inconsistencies on that offense. Marquise Brown looks like a stud one game and then looks like a wide receiver 4 the next. So, it's just bad over there. I agree. They're going to get the number 1 pick. We'll have to see what they do with it. Or maybe the Panthers do. Who knows? But they're both god-awful. And I'm trusting the Browns here.
All right. This might not want to watch either. Rams versus the Packers now. It might be on Fox. I hope the Commanders and the Patriots on Fox. The Commanders are always on damn near TV, road or home. This game's going to be on Fox. You got the Rams versus the Packers. Rams, Matt Stafford, he should be able to play with that thumb injury that he suffered, finger injury he suffered against the Cowboys. Jordan Love is definitely not the answer. They're currently ranked 28 in offense. Their defense is still top 15 despite trading their cornerback or whatever. And their offense is, Lord, is bad. Bottom tier. Matt LaFleur, I think his job is somewhat on the line. As much as he had those 13 and 3 years with Aaron Rodgers and then had that one losing season in his final year at 89, his line, but I think he'll get fired a year after next year. I don't see him getting fired this year because it's the Jordan Love experiment. Even though this doesn't really look like it, good. I am going to go ahead and take the Rams to win this game. And the Rams offensive line does very, very concern. But I trust Stafford, he's older. Jordan, I don't trust Jordan Love. He sat down for 3 years and hasn't really learned anything to get on the.
Yo, you're very in and out. Try to leave real quick and then come back. All right. So he's going to get that figured out. He went with the Rams, and I'll tell it to him when he gets back. I'm going to go with the Packers here. And mine is more just because of the speculation on whether or not. Yeah, here we go. All right, cool. You don't look frozen right now, so that's good. Yeah, so I'm going to go with the Packers here, and it's against my better judgment. Here's why. So Matthew Stafford, it's not guaranteed that he plays. Sean McVay said we are giving him up until literally Saturday night to make this decision whether or not he plays on Sunday. And so if he doesn't play, I am going to take the Packers defense. I know it's been up and down, and the loss of Douglas and the injuries in the secondary are big. But with the uncertainty of Stafford even playing, a thumb injury on your throwing hand is the worst. I don't know how. He came out of that game for a reason. Obviously, we were whooping their ass, but you can't really grip a ball if you don't have your thumb functional. So just assuming he doesn't play based on Sean McVay's statement on it, which was with this injury, you give him literally up until game time to make the decision. So if he decides to play and then can't throw the ball, or it's just too uncertain for me to be confident in the Rams. And I know that Puka and Cooper Kupp are probably going to make me regret this, but I'm going to roll with the Packers in this game just because I don't know what's coming from that Rams offense.
All right, next game, the Bucs versus the Texans. Now, the Bucs have dropped 4 straight games. The Texans have been up and down. Now, C.J. Stroud is playing great. The defense under first-year head coach DeMeco Ryans is currently ranked number 8 in defense. The offense still needs a little work. They're about bottom tier in rushing. They're about 7th, the bottom. So, like, there's 32 teams in the NFL. They're about close to the bottom 7 out of 32 teams. The Bucs are the worst rushing team in the NFL. As far as running the ball, they're 32nd. So they're not; these teams are not far apart, and it's very inconsistent of running the football. Now, in this game, I understand they got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Baker Mayfield. He's been playing consistently. Tampa Bay still has the defense under Todd Bowles. In this game, I'm going to take the Texans at home just because it's a defense thing. Their defense is better than the Bucs. C.J. Stroud has been very, very consistent. But when it comes down to running the ball, I trust the Texans to run the ball way better than the Bucs. The Bucs have no damn running game. I get they have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, but if the Texans, since they're top 10 in defense, if they shut that down, not saying they're going to lock them up, but if they somewhat have a scheme, they give them a fewer catches, I got to go with the Texans. It's not a Baker Mayfield thing. It's just they can't run the ball. And I feel like you're all get fired at some point. You cannot run the ball. So Texans are going to be my pick.
Yeah, this was a game that I was 50-50 on until we legitimately started the episode. And I went with the Bucs. And I'm so up in the air about it. I'm very 50-50. I don't think I would like my pick regardless of what team I took. Like if I took the Texans, I'd be like, damn, but what if Baker and Mike go off? And then I'm taking the Bucs, and now I'm like, damn, CJ's going to put up like 300 yards. Like I just know it's going to happen. Well, I'm rolling with the Bucs. I don't think that this team is going to drop, another game in a row. I've got enough faith in Mike Evans getting open enough. Chris Godwin shows up like every 2 or 3 games at this point. He's not an every game impact player, but he shows up when he needs to a lot of the time. So I'm going to roll with the Bucs here. I think it's super close. I think it's an ugly game. I don't think it's going to be like, a bunch of ESPN top 10 like Sports Center plays or anything in this game. I think it's going to be pretty ugly. But I'm going to roll with the Bucs in a close one.
All right, the Commanders versus the Patriots. I think it's the first game for the Patriots to play second game to play all NFC East teams this year. They're at home against the Commanders. Now the Commanders have Scary Terry and all those guys. Sam Howell's been playing. He threw for about 400 yards against the Eagles, obviously. But our defense is better than the Eagles. My concerns is still the damn offense. Mac Jones cannot turn the ball over. He only had 1 interception, but that crucial turnover did cost us to have scoring position towards halftime. We could have been down 10-14 instead of 7. Kendrick Bourne is out, so we have injuries down the hill. It's not looking good at all towards ACL against the Dolphins. Wow, we don't know who to go to. I guess we go to Pop Douglas. Hunter Henry needs to be involved more. I'm still going to take my Patriots even though they're 2-6, and I'm not really confident in taking them. That's why I don't bet on my own team when it comes to these bets. I can't give you a score. I think the Patriots defense will, do what it does to the Commanders offense. And I understand Eric Bieniemy is calling, plays, and I get it. He's called plays against the Patriots with Patrick Mahomes in the past. But you have Sam Howell and not Patrick Mahomes, and the Commanders' defense is currently ranked second to last. So I'm confident a little bit in the offense, but this game depends on Mac Jones and how he plays. And if Stevenson and Ziegler Elliott's run game could be a little bit more consistent in yards, I think Ezekiel Elliott has played way better than Stevenson this year. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Patriots, but I don't have really much input on how well we're going to play. If we're going to play like we did against Buffalo, or I don't know, we're 2-6 for a reason. So, I mean, I'm not going to say hoping for a draft pick like everybody else, but I mean, at least want us to win games. I don't want to sit and watch us lose every fucking week. It gets old.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm going with the Commanders. Now, they did just unload 2 of their 4 studs on the D-line, but they are a relatively healthy team. The offense is exciting, but their defense, like you mentioned, their secondary sucks. The Pats and the Commanders, though, are both bottom of the league when it comes to points allowed. The main difference is the Pats have a good run defense, where the Commanders don't really excel at many things when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. Pats are -6 in turnover differential. So where, they are fumbling and Mac is turning the ball over in the air, they're not really getting the return from the defensive side, which obviously comes with 2 of your best players being out for the year. But then, just looking at the inconsistency of their offense, where, the Commanders really, their only bad game offensively was against the Bills. And besides that, they've been putting up points, or I guess the Bears too. They looked like shit, but in their other losses, they have been putting up points. It's not like they're not doing anything when it comes to scoring the ball. And then, like you mentioned, your number 1 receiver being out doesn't really give me confidence in the inconsistencies of the Patriots offense to get any better. If you're asking me to put my trust in Juju as a wide receiver 1, I'm gonna pass.
Hell
on that.
no, don't do it.
Yeah,
don't do it.
I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass on that. So I'm gonna go with the Commanders here. It's unfortunate. Both these teams, though, aren't very good. I wouldn't be surprised either way. But I'm gonna roll with the Commanders.
That's why I took all the Patriots stuff out of my bed. As soon as we lost to the Raiders, I took all the Patriots stuff and put Celtics stuff on there because I'm done with the Patriots. Next, the Chicago Bears versus the Saints. The Bears are 2-6. Tyson Badgett, I mean, he's working with what he has to work with. Justin Fields might be questionable. Is he going to come back? I'm not really sure. The Saints are 4-4. They won. They beat the Colts. Very consistent on offense. Their defense, by the way, is top 10. They can throw the ball very well. The offense is still top 10. They can't run the ball really as well, even though it's 16th in rushing. The Bears can run the ball very well, but the defense is almost like bottom tier as always. I'm going to take the Saints to win this game because Derek Carr versus Tyson Badgett, or if Justin Fields even plays, I mean, the Saints are a completely better team and have a better defense, and I'm not putting my money on the sorry-ass Chicago Bears. And we understand Josh McDaniels got fired, but Matt Eberflus will be fired next.
Yeah, I'm going with the Saints here. Justin Fields hasn't even been cleared to practice yet, so I don't know why he's still listed as questionable. It's Thursday, and he hasn't practiced this week. He's not playing in a game next week. He just needs to be listed as out. It's annoying that, they're not more transparent with that. If your quarterback hasn't been cleared to practice, I can't imagine that he's going to be playing in an actual game come Sunday. So I'm going with the Saints here for pretty much the exact same reasons. You never know what you're going to get from the Bears offense, and going up against the Saints defense is just a recipe for disaster. The only chance I would have seen would be if obviously Justin was healthy and if Khalil Herbert was healthy. And that's just because the Saints run game is pretty mediocre to bad. And when healthy, the Bears are a top 10 rush offense. So that is really the only chance I would have seen here for a competitive game. Khalil's still on IR and Justin hasn't been cleared. So neither one of those, preferable options are available. So I'm not really giving the Bears much of a chance here.
All right, Indianapolis versus Carolina. Carolina got their first Houston Texans. Obviously, Gardner Minshew has been, he's played very well. The defense is second to last, obviously, but their offense is top 7 despite the Anthony Richardson injury. 9th in rushing, 7 in total offense, 11 in passing. The defense of the Carolina Panthers is 4th in total defense, surprisingly, with them beating 1-6. Their offense is just completely bad. I'm taking the Colts because Gardner Minshew will torch these sorry-ass Carolina Panthers. Their run game's been very, very consistent, obviously. I'm taking the Colts to win this game. I have no confidence in Carolina because that offensive line is not good.
I'm going with the Colts here too. There's just too much. I mean, it's awesome they got their first win, but do you trust them to carry over that success to this week? I don't know. The Colts defense is bad, but this is just an ugly game. It could be, who knows? Like they could score some points in this game both ways. I'm going to go with the Colts. I don't trust the Panthers offense. Adam Thielen's been great this year. Bryce has done, not as well as he could have, but pretty close to just the incomplete offense that he's being forced to work with here. So it's not a Bryce thing. I'm gonna roll with the Colts here and my boy Gardner.
All right, next game, Giants versus the Raiders. Raiders have fired Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. Antonio Pierce is the interim head coach. The starting quarterback is Aiden O'Connell. They benched Jimmy Garoppolo. So Jimmy Garoppolo's career in Raiders is over. If the Patriots suck, maybe you could get him because he knows the Patriots offense, maybe. But he's always hurt. So I wouldn't the Patriots next year. Just maybe draft the quarterback. I don't know. The Giants are 2-6. Tyrod Taylor, if he's even gonna play, he got hurt obviously and was out. What's the quarterback's name they played last week? Was it DeVito? Tommy DeVito? Yeah, Tommy DeVito.
Yeah.
Now I remember. Tommy DeVito might be starting. This game could go ugly. Now I'm confident in the Raiders because Antonio Pierce got the Raiders fired up in his press conference. I really liked him. He's from Compton. He's a football player. He can relate to the guys. Josh McDaniels is just a coach. He couldn't really relate to the guys in the frustration. Antonio Pierce will turn that around. I'm going to pick the Raiders because I understand they're starting Aiden O'Connell, the rookie, but they have way better weapons than the Giants. The Giants ain't got no damn weapons. The defense is improved, but I want weapons on offense. You have Josh Jacobs leading rusher last year. You had Jacoby Myers, who had some splashes. You can use Hunter Renfrow more. You got Devontae Adams. I'm going to go with the Raiders. I think it'll be a turning point, and it'll be more motivated because there is no longer a Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, I'm with you. Same exact reasoning. I think the boys are going to be fired up with these new guys in charge. Like you said, former players that I'm sure, when former players become coaches, this is what I've heard from players on, TV or Pat McAfee show or whatever talking about it. When players become coaches, they're tough coaches. They're player friendly for sure, but they're all about accountability because they know that when they were the player, it was do your job so your team can be successful. It's about the team first, all this stuff, without being a complete asshole about it, like McDaniels has been known to do, trying to be Bill Belichick. You can't be Bill Belichick.
that doesn't work.
Yeah,
nobody can be Bill Belichick.
Exactly, and so that's I think that.
Also to get to your point, Bill Belichick. He's not just an asshole, but he's earned that because he coached under Bill Parcells. So Bill Parcells was like that. But he also loves the players. So he's not like the asshole that the media puts him in, obviously. But Go ahead.
Yeah, and like you hear players talk about him and stuff. Like he's gonna get on you, he's gonna yell at you, he's gonna tell you you're doing something wrong, but he's doing it for your success, so you get better, and so the team gets better. The difference with Josh, from what we've heard through players and stuff in Denver and here, is that he's just trying so hard to be this asshole without earning it. He didn't win those 6 Super Bowls as a head coach. You know, he isn't one of the greatest GMs of all time and knows how to construct a team to where you don't need a superstar at every position. You can construct a team of guys that'll fit into the Patriot way and contribute to the team the way he sees it in his head. Josh McDaniels isn't that guy. So I think that the change of vibes from that dictatorship almost of what Josh was trying to do to now former players in the GM and head coaching spot, guys that are relatable, guys that the players I feel like will get fired up to play for, and then going against the Giants where they've got injuries everywhere. Tyrod is like out. There's no shot he's playing. And then Darren Waller's not playing, which could have been a cool reunion revenge game or whatever, but that's not happening. So, yeah, I mean, I really – this is going to be a very ugly game. I don't think it's going to be a fun watch for anybody, but I'm going to roll with the Raiders here too. I just don't trust the Giants at all.
All right, final game, Monday Night Football, the Chargers versus the Jets. It would be a primetime episode, but there's no Aaron Rodgers. It's Zach Wilson and Justin Herbert. It's not going to get any views. Now, Peyton Manning and Eli Manning on their show on Monday night, they'll make it very interesting. I think they have some very good intel stuff when it comes to football, but it's not a game where I'm like, hey, it's Monday Night Football. Like, no. Now, the Chargers have struggled. Brandon Staley is on the hot seat, but they're winning games right now. Kellen Moore's the offensive coordinator, obviously. Their defense is 27th. Their offense is mid-tier, 17th. They can run the ball okay, but it's not great. When I say they can run the ball, it's in splashes, but it's not like very consistent that they can run the ball. It's in splashes with Austin Eckler. The Jets defense, now they can't pass the ball for anything. They're last in passing. They're second to last in offense. They can run the ball. They're 20th. Their only offense to being able is to run the ball without Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to take the Jets at home because their defense is better than the Chargers' defense. And they can't score no points on offense, but when it counts, Zach Wilson will be able to do his thing. Now, I'm not saying he's clutch and all that, but look what he did against the Giants. He didn't play his best game. I'm not Dan Orlovsky who said, oh, he played a great game after 2-3 plays. Hell the fuck no, he played bad. He's still playing bad. He's doing just enough so his team don't lose. I'm going to take the Jets. I'm a hater because of the same team as the Patriots in the division, the AFC East, but the Chargers are up and down. What type of Chargers team are we going to get? So I'm going with the Jets.
Yeah, I was pretty 50-50 on this game. I'm going to roll with the Chargers. So we know that statistically their defense is awful, but we also know that they have dogs scattered around this entire defense. Khalil, Bosa, Derwin James, pretty sure they have Asante Samuel as well. So they have dogs on the defense. It's just, the linebackers are pretty weak in my opinion, and I feel like the coaching has let them down as well. I mean, we saw week 1, they were in press man versus Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Like, that's not on the players. There's a coaching mistake there. So that's a big reason that I was 50-50 is because I don't trust these coaches, even though they have so much talent. But the Jets O-line has fallen apart even more than they already were. Like new guys on IR. And with the dogs scattered around, 3 of them can blitz. 2 of them will be blitzing every play, and that's Khalil and Bosa. But Derwin James has also been known to get dirty on that stuff as well. So I don't know if this O-line is fit to withstand the pressure coming from Khalil and Nick or Joey, excuse me. And then also you look at what they were doing against Dallas with a complete O-line. Dak was under pressure a lot, and we still found a way to win the game. But I think the difference between the Jets O-line and the Cowboys O-line, and then the Cowboys offense and the Jets offense, is pretty significant. We've seen it in a face-to-face matchup. So I'm just more comfortable with the Chargers offense here. I don't think that the Jets offense are going to be able to withstand what the Chargers are going to bring. Zach needs to not turn the ball over versus a defense that's tied for 10th in turnovers, and they have a +6 turnover differential. So I completely understand this is a pretty healthy Jets defense at this point. I'm pretty sure they've got guys returning, but they've only forced one more turnover than the Chargers and have the second fewest turnovers on offense in the league in the Chargers. So it's tough for me to just think that the Chargers are going to, turn the ball over a bunch of times and keep the Jets in this game. So I'm going to roll with the Chargers. I don't think it's a blowout or anything, but I think that the Chargers have enough to get this one done.
All right, this is it for Lambo and Matt's World of Sports. Really like, comment, and subscribe to Totem Pole Nation. And y'all, enjoy your weekend. Don't forget to get the merch at TotemPoleNation.com, which is in the bottom of the ticker. We want to thank Sideline Sports Never for giving us this platform. Like I said, we'll run this show either Monday through Thursday and maybe squeezing the Friday if we talk about extra stuff that is trending. Or NBA also is back, but we'll get some NBA stuff later. But like I said, it's 4 or 5 games to the season.
You saw LeBron?
Yes, LeBron with the 35 and
35,
whatever.
Yeah.
Beast. That's nice. I mean,
in year 21.
Yeah, the year 20. I mean, LeBron is one of the greatest of all time. He is one of the greatest. I'm not going to sit here and deny that. He is one of the greatest of all time. As much as I'm the Celtics fan, I hate the Lakers, but I'm not a LeBron hater. You have to appreciate greatness because when he ends up being gone, the NBA is going to miss him. And probably the ratings are going to go way down when there's LeBron James, obviously. You still got Steph Curry, but, it's not the same. But, yes, we'll get into some NBA stuff probably next week, but it's just hard to talk about NBA stuff when it's 4 or 5 games into a damn season, when it's 82 games of basketball. Like, we're saying to talk about, they suck because, they're 2 and 3. Like, yeah, you just can't do that. So we'll catch you back on Monday in Lambo's Match World Sports. Of course, all college football, all NFL games that we'll talk to. Get your merch. The merch is great and it's affordable. But we will catch you later. Y'all have a great weekend. Y'all have a great November. Like I said, we are 21 days away from Thanksgiving. Give your blessing. Goodbye and adios.